You said something, Duran, on a call this morning that I want to unpack, and I waited to ask questions because now I know I have the luxury of holding you hostage on these calls to really dig in. We talked about, the sensationalized headlines. SEO's dead. SEO's not dead. Whatever. You said something and you were like, well, SEO isn't dead the way people think it is. Can talk about this?
Of course. So SEO is not dead. SEO still works, but it's changed, right? I think what's slowly dying is the click-through rates from your SEO rankings is going to slowly die. And the reason for that is, and I think, Sarah, you told me this from your alert, search engine Land wrote an article yesterday, and Google released a new functionality where they're going to use more AI features on their links in the AI mode. So they have these little buttons now where you can go from A to B to C. And what's going to happen with that is, if you are not doing any type of announcements, news, if you're not focusing on authority, if you're not focusing on brand, if you're not publicly building, that's the best high level terminology I could use, you're going to be invisible, because there is now absolutely no reason that Google should rank you as a business unless you have that value. So in my opinion, yes, you're not going to lose your ranks, but you are going to decrease in click-through rates, slowly disappear. And what's more alarming for us is, because we deal with 100+ clients, and majority of them have the problem of, I'm not decreasing in rankings, I'm not decreasing in traffic, but my pipeline is getting slimmer.
Yeah.
And that's that decision-making process that's moving to AI. Now, people are suspicious about it. They can't really pinpoint it, but we know, you and I, we know it because we have visibility into it. So that's what's going to happen. SEO is not dying, but I would say competitive keyword SEO is almost dead, because nobody looks for, LED TVs anymore. Nobody is really looking for cheap PlayStation anymore. Like, everybody knows what's going on. So therefore, you're looking at like more elaborate buying decisions. It's not like LED TVs under $5,000 anymore. It's kind of like, what TV would look cool in my living room? Snap, take a picture.
Yeah.
That's what's changing. The way people are buying, and the way people are analyzing those specific buying decisions are changing.
And I follow data and stats reports like crazy because I love numbers. G2 just launched an answer economy report, and the key number was 69% of B2B buyers picked a different vendor because of AI. There you go. And that number is going to be 100% soon. So if we know Google or SEO isn't dead the way we think it is, this is one of the things I started to dig in on with you that I am curious about, because Google is still an authority point. We're looking at a lot of measurement, a lot of data, and I put a lot of street cred in getting Google AI index news coverage, third-party coverage for our clients, right? Because I know that in theory, even though Google, might not show it in their top 10 links or whatever, it can still impact what shows up in other LLMs because of the third-party authority. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. Well, so Google is still an authority, but like I said, the conversation is switching, and everybody, like a year ago, 2 years ago, very few people were using ChatGPT, Claude versus Google. Last year, a lot of my friends started switching to ChatGPT and Claude. Now, just think about it. Everybody that's watching this, or everybody that we know, like, yeah, you might Google something time to time, but you're not going there anymore for decisions. You're not doing research on Google anymore. And Google sees that, and Google knows that, right? They have the infrastructure, so they can still survive, and ads still have value. If you get a bottom funnel click from Google, it will still convert, but the odds of you getting that bottom funnel click is going to decrease significantly now, because you're dealing with, like, just look at Google's framework. It went from 10 basic blue links to like thousands of links literally in one search. So how are you ever going to be found? That's the trick.
Well, how are people going to be found, Duran?
Well, the best way to do this is this. First, you have to have an incredible offer. Second, you have to have overabundance of proof that you are the best at what you do. I've been giving this example for almost like 5 years now. You watch a movie, right? The movie is either great or terrible. You're not going to be like, it was okay. But no, you're going to be like, that sucked. Or let's talk, everybody shops on Amazon. When was the last time you bought a product on Amazon that has 3.5 stars? You're simply not going to do that. You're going to look for 4.5, as close to 5 as possible. There is no way that a 2-star product on Amazon makes any money. So similar thing, you have to be the best at what you do. And if you're not, you have to find the niche. You have to get into the subcategory. Like, Zen Media. We might not be the best PR agency in the world, but we're the best PR agency with AI expertise and AI perception visibility in the world. I can say that we have the technology, we have the PR muscle. So you got to find that one area, and then you have to basically just scream about it. How do you scream about it? Write content at a high level, build publicly. You have to be so confident in what you do that you can build publicly, not private. If you can do that, then the world will know about you.
Are there any pages of the old SEO playbook do you think that are still relevant? Especially, I'm talking to my peers. PR was really late to the game on SEO, Duran. There were only a small percentage of us that were like, ooh, this has layers to what we're doing, because PR has no valid metrics. We can't show revenue impact. We can't show sales traffic, impact, but we had to connect to SEO to have some additional value points. What do you think still remains?
I think in terms of SEO, I think you got to look at your top 3. When you go to SEMrush, you have to look at, where am I showing up top 3? What are the topic clusters, the authority clusters that I have? Like if you look at, for example, Zen Media, that's going to be B2B PR.
You pull up SEMrush. You always do such a good job with this, because I think every PR person should have a SEMrush account for their clients. This is like a layer that we should have. We missed the SEO game, but this is a layer that's actually integral for GEO, AEO, whatever you call it. And you're like the master of this, Duran. I learned so much of this from you.
Yeah, of course. I'll pull it up really quickly so that we can show it.
Somebody's an absolute newbie. They're getting on SEMrush for the first time. Like, how does this fit into my AI perception, AI visibility strategy? Why would I use this when I either don't know anything about SEO, or SEO, I don't view SEO as part of my job? And I now say, this is something I use. I need to know. I want to know what a site's authority is. I want to know what their top authority pages are.
Sure. So let's pull up Zen Media, right? You see we are visible for 3,300 keywords, but we only have 222 keywords on the top page of Google. And only, if you look at this, 76 of those are top 3. And if you look at what those top 10 are, we have digital marketing campaign, which is a very, again, it's a competitive term, media training, digital marketing campaigns, digital marketing, media training, internet marketing campaign, best digital ads, public relations campaign examples, online marketing examples. You kind of see some of these, B2B PR, again, we are there. So this gives you B2B influencer marketing agency. Those are some buy terms, right? And then you have to also look at the intent, right? You don't want to show up for internet marketing. Nobody cares. That's not a valuable term. If you sell internet marketing services, you want to show up for internet marketing agency. That's a better intent. You don't even want to show up for internet marketing services, because a bunch of people who have $50 is going to be searching for you. They don't have the money. So, SEO, what we did is we would combine intent, and then we would combine the service that we have. Now with AI, you have that persona layer. right?
Yes.
It's not only what they're searching for, but who is searching for that. Because I assure you, if somebody wants to buy B2B PR, they're probably not going to search for B2B PR agency. They're going to search for something a lot more specific. And we see it in our data. When we get leads, we can see where it's coming from. Is it coming from AI or Google, et cetera, et cetera? Most people are asking like a whole bunch of like, who's the best B2B PR agency that specializes in robotics industry, in this industry, that I can get that's between $10,000 and $20,000. This is literally what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So if you look at this authority from this standpoint, right? And then you want to, before, here's the thing. We used to track, like, is it going up? Is it going down? Honestly, it has no value anymore. Like, it doesn't matter if you're going down. I think in the past 6 months, and I'll share this with everybody, like we were hit. Look, we were showing up for a lot more. We decreased, and it did nothing for the number of leads because people are making bottom funnel decisions differently.
Yeah.
I think there was one blog post. This blog post was ranking for like 2,000 keywords. We call that semantic. And it's not anymore. It's ranking for 900 in terms of 2,000. So we lost a bunch of traffic, but our leads didn't change. Our sales didn't change. So it's not only about the number of keywords anymore. It's more about what else are you doing? Because it's not our only channel, Sarah. You know this. We're doing outbound email. We are on Meta. We are on LinkedIn. Sarah is screaming from the top of her lungs. I'm screaming from the top of my lungs. We have partnerships. Say it again. Yeah, you lost your voice. We lost our voices. So it's like, you have to have an omni-channel approach, but unfortunately, majority of brands are still relying on Google and paid traffic from Google. Is you have to diversify. You have to do outbound. You have to do thought leadership. It's not an option anymore. Sarah, how many people reach out to you on a weekly basis?
But for what, I mean, on LinkedIn alone, this is not bragging, but I've got like 50 unread messages right now since yesterday.
Yeah. And the reason for that is because you're putting out valuable information out there and people want to know more. And then your challenge is that now you have to filter that information to the types of people that you want to speak to, because you can't respond to everybody. No. So similar thing, in what you're doing. And then what are you publicly building? We've had some conversations here where we're literally showing what we're building. Like I was thinking about, I'm going to pivot really quickly. If you don't mind, Sarah. Like I was thinking about, and we're talking about creative angles, like, right? How can I sell migration and functionality in a cool manner? Like we figured out and we shared on some of these calls how we sell our services for AI visibility. We built a software and it's very, very cool. And we're the first company that built this GPT that you can check your rankings and all of that, right? So now I was thinking, how can I do that for e-commerce? For example, we just built this solution.
I love this.
And I was thinking, how can I build something that for e-commerce business owners that resembles an e-commerce business? So what it does is it literally like pulls up, let me just show you this. It literally pulls up your website, the revenue that you're doing on your website, and all the functionalities you're missing on your website. And then it literally gives this to you in e-commerce format. It's basically saying, look, if you're doing 25 million, you have 2% conversion rate, 200 average order value, and $1,000 lifetime value for a customer. By not having these functionalities, this is what you're leaving on the table. You're leaving $1 million. And if you actually had these functionalities, all of these functionalities would just cost you $49,000 to implement. So look at that. You would get 22x return. It would pay you back in 17 days. And then you can recalculate. What we did is we have like $1.2 billion of transaction data. So we segmented that. Mm-hmm. And we said, well, we're going to cross-reference people to each other, and we're not going to share the information, but we're going to show them how they compare to others. And we built this thing. And now what you can do is you can literally, and this is a lead generation thing for me, but I'm giving my potential buyers and instant gratification before they even decide to speak with me. I'm already giving you a bunch of information.
But this is built fundamentally. The whole reason for this, we're talking about SEO and keywords. Now we've got this prompt analysis and data. It's built off of the persona and intent and the pain points of the people you're trying to reach. That's why you even said this is something that is needed.
Yeah. Literally, I'm sending 6 AI agents to your site. I'm checking your cart. I'm checking. But this technology is not difficult. You just have to. And this is lead gen. Guess what happens here? I put a $4.95 here. I don't know. I might sell it for $95. I might sell it for $50. The only reason there's a price here also is because I want to send back the signal, the right signal to Meta, saying this is a conversion. If I turn this into a form submission, a bunch of people that are not qualified are going to fill out that form, and my signal is going to be bad. So Andromeda will not be able to get me more people like this. But goes back to publicly building, right? Like you got to publicly build. You got to share your expertise. Every single person that's watching this or every single person that's on LinkedIn has some level of expertise in something, but everybody's so quiet about
it. I wanted to ask one other thing about SEMrush and how we use it, because we're talking about this fundamental knowledge and layer that's allowing you to build and create and ideate at a pace I don't know that you've ever had before. The wrong data and using it the wrong way can actually do the exact opposite, right? You could say,
absolutely.
Like I see a lot of people talking about just find 10 prompts for your client and then try to impact those. And what they're doing is they're going to ChatGPT and they're typing in something, and ChatGPT is just giving them self-fulfilling prophecy responses. I like when we add in that SEMrush layer, because instead of keywords, we're thinking about high intent level prompts. So we're validating, like we'll get prompt analysis from our own tools and how we use them and what we do, but then we can use still the foundation of old school SEO to validate what people are looking for. Can you talk through that?
Yeah, of course. So from a data standpoint, again, I think that majority of people out there are just moving blindly. You don't have to be an SEO expert, but you have to know what that means. Like what does your website have authority on? What does your brand have authority on? I can't just wake up one day at Zen Media and decide to do PR for luxury brands. Number one, I don't have that much experience. Number two, that's not my domain authority. Number three, I have to build that topic cluster. Number four, I don't have 100 case studies. I can't show overabundance of proof in that industry. So it's not really what you want to sell. Most people don't understand that. It's what the market demands. What is the, like Sarah and I, we knew nothing about AI visibility 2 years ago. It wasn't a topic. And then we're like, okay, this is what the market demands. Well, we're going to pivot. Yeah. If you try to pivot today, it's going to take you at least 12 to 18 months. So just do what you're really, really good at. But going back to your conversation, your statement about data, like, look, Profound, really, really successful company. They were one of the first ones that came up with this, right? But look, $99 a month, 50 prompts. What the hell 50 prompts going to do for you? What visibility are you going to have when you track 50 prompts on a monthly basis? Like Sarah and I, we know that that's useless. You have to have at least 1,000 prompts to dig deep into any topic cluster.
Because we want to find gaps. It's not about the quantity. It's not about saying I have 1,000 prompts to have 1,000 prompts. We can do better analysis because, again, we're saying AI visibility. You and I know the bigger game is that AI perception, because with 1,000 prompts, I can see what AI is saying about me across multiple personas. Somebody, you could ask or prompt something. I could ask and prompt something. We get 2 different responses. So deeper data gives us deeper persona and intent. And then we can say, well, we don't show up at all for this person.
Correct. And what I don't like is this. I don't like these software companies, these big software companies that do tens of millions of dollars that go for months without new functionality. I simply cannot comprehend that. There's absolutely no excuse for you not to build publicly and effectively anymore. Like Profound has been literally the same for the past, I don't know, 6 months. I have an account for Profound.
think about what Vercel did. Are you following how they, I mean, so this is a service we use for,
Yeah.
Or is it Warp too? Warp opened it up to the development community. They
Yeah,
were like,
I mean,
hey,
you have to build publicly now. It's that era, and you also want to share. Like, we have an API that we use for people. I have a version of, you know what, I'll explain it here. Like, we have a version of ai.zenmedia.com that you can go in. Well, you can't sign up, but our clients use. So what we're in the process of doing is we're going to duplicate this, give the UI and UX to people, and then just use it with your own API keys. So I'm going to give you this technology, which costs literally $30,000, $40,000 annually for our clients to use at the minimum, and enter your own API key and use it however you want. Like, this is what I mean. It's also helping the community understand, grow. Like, you put out a bunch of skills, Sarah, online. I put out a bunch of skills on GitHub. Like, we share the stuff that we built. And that's why everybody gets going together and everybody grows.
Well, that is, thinking 6 months ahead. I don't want the wrong people to get the information and then ruin it for the rest of us, because the PR industry does have a lot of false prophets out there that ruins it for the people that have integrity. And
oh, it's going to happen, Sarah. Right? It's going to happen. Do you think people are not going to take these products that we have? Like, hey, we do the same thing, do these Gen AI notices. And then they're gonna, this exactly what happened with SEO. A bunch of people came out and said, we do SEO. And then, marketing agencies got a bad rep, because if I sell something for $5,000 and you sell it for $250, like, it's not the same thing. But long story short, I think that will happen, but I'm not even concerned about that. Again, as long as I target my audience is not people who pay $250. So my audience, but don't tell me you do the same thing. Don't tell me, oh, there's a bunch of ads. Why should you spend thousands of dollars? Well, because that's what it requires. Because those thousands of dollars that you spend come back to you with millions of dollars. Could you spend $250? Sure. But show me a multi-million dollar brand that spends $250 on their SEO. It's just, stop this nonsense. If you want to be a small business, if you want to run a small operation, that's completely fine. But don't compare to a bigger picture. And that's, going back to the origination of all of this with the SEO and the rankings and everything. Look, the market will shift. You'll have different channels that you can leverage from. You just have to pay attention. You have to watch the metrics. You don't have to be an expert. And one of the best ways to keep up is just continue following Sarah, because she puts out a ton of content with, about all of the things that we're working on. And again, build publicly yourself. If you're a realtor, go public. If you're an accountant, CPA, go public. If you're a fractional CMO, go public. Post stuff. Hide the client names if you have to, but talk about what you're doing.
I agree. And it's crazy that some of the most brilliant 6 months ahead stuff is going back to basics, and what's old is new again.
Correct. You're not going to change the fundamentals of marketing. Like, if you had to do one thing, learn about the 5 levels of awareness stages with marketing. I have a video on this, and maybe you can share the link, Sarah. Like, that video is going to give you so much perspective about your buyers and how they buy. Let me just find that there's a levels of awareness.
A comment after, because it is a good one, and I've seen it and use it, because that is one thing I've learned in my own evolution in strategic comms, is how important marketing knowledge is, and that fundamental. And the future of PR people will be a combination of marketing, old school SEO that's now GEO, plus traditional strategic comms.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have hundreds of hours of videos here, but right here, zenmedia.com/blog/category/video. We can share it. Sarah, you can share this one. Just watch the levels of awareness videos here, and that will give you a lot of insight. Like, you have to go back to the first principles. When things get too complex, you have to go back to the first principles. If you do that, you're always going to win.
All right. Thanks, John. We will be back next week. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.